Hey guys, what's going on? Ah, happy Friday. Happy Friday. Today's been an awesome day. It's been a totally awesome day. I hope that each of you, as you're winding down uh, your work week and heading into the weekend, have been able to find some time to make something awesome happen, either for yourself or someone around you. Sometimes it's maybe just making a phone call to somebody unexpectedly, and it can just cheer them up. It can make their day. Um, we're talking about negativity and negative attitudes and all of that. And I think that everyone has a part to play in how the attitude flows, how quickly we recover from certain things, etc., and so on. So, as you guys come in, welcome to the Ultimate Power Team. My name is Marcy Batiste, America's #1 reality-based success and recovery trainer, and I am glad you are here. A couple things I always like to share with people if you're joining in for the very first time, that I'm sold out to my happiness. I live life on Mars, and the greatest thing ever for me is to be able to be the spark that ignites the light for somebody else to discover and embrace their star power. Hey, Mara. Yes, you were interrupting as usual. But anyway, so yeah, that's my daughter. She was just calling my phone, and y'all know me and my technology. Usually that kicks me off, so I'm just glad that we're able to keep recording today. Anyway, so we're talking about negativity. We're talking about negative attitudes, and I entitled this live stream "Shit Happens," and that's real. That's real. For those of you who know me, very much no nonsense. My coaching style is very, very no nonsense. But I always promise my clients that you'll be challenged, but you will always be 100% supported. Because I do push my clients to go deeper, to go bolder, to go bigger, to dig deeper than they thought they could. You know, one of my mottos is to experience life unedited. And so many times we edit ourselves and we edit what we want to please other people. And unfortunately, when you start editing your life to please other people, you wind up being the one who's most unhappy, least likely to achieve your goals, etc., and so on. So when we think about shit happens, bad stuff happens. I try and clean it up when I'm doing speaking and training in corporate, and it's BS happens, bad stuff happens, but really shit happens. Bad stuff that we have no control over, none whatsoever. Things that we'd like to forget, choices we've made that we would like to walk away from, etc., and so on. And unfortunately, life doesn't work that way. You have to atone for for every action there's a consequence, right? Every action there's a reaction. For every choice there's a consequence. And so I was thinking about this in the schematics of how negativity happens. Like, what gets you to the place where you have a really toxic, really negative attitude? And it's different for everybody, but ultimately it usually comes down to something bad has happened to them, around them, to someone that they care about, that has impacted them in a way that it's altered their belief system. And so when I was thinking about what's a good way to cure negative attitudes, negativism, I think is I don't know if that's a word or not. It's a word in my world now. But is there a way to cure it? And one of the things I was thinking about, I study cognitive behavior, and I'm a cognitive behavioral therapist, and one of the things that when you begin getting in touch with reality, that you have to unconditionally teach yourself and train yourself to believe, and you have to teach yourself to always remember this, that no one is intentionally out to hurt you. And I think that we forget that sometimes. I think that we get caught up in people's behavior and we get caught up in the actions and so forth, and then we start taking things really personally. But the way to cure, hey Frederick, welcome. The way to cure the negativity is to always go back and question that reality. So when bad stuff happens, being able to take yourself out of the situation, to take the emotion out of the situation, and it could be a health issue, it could be a violation, it could be trauma. There's a whole host of things that we go through that cause us to feel like the world's against us, that people are really truly out to get us, and that's not true. When we talk about, my coaching style is reality based. Like, it's not true. The world is not out to get you. I promise you that. I promise you that. There are amazing people. There's 7.2 billion people in the world. It's not possible for it to be true that the entire world is out to get you. You have a few people that have violated you along the way. You've had a few bad things happen to you along the way. And you have to learn to put those things into perspective and not allow them to start eating at you from the inside out, because when that happens, it transfers, and so then you begin acting out and you begin behaving in a manner that is negative. And so when we're talking, this week's book is Negaholics No More, and you really have to get clear about what is the reality. We start telling ourselves, when bad stuff happens, we start telling ourselves, like, there's no way out. I can't do this. I can't overcome this. It's just me. It's, this stuff only happens to me. That's not true. Diseases happen to everybody. Violations happen to everybody. Abuse happens to many, many, many people. One of the things, I'm a domestic violence advocate. 3 out of 4 women are abused in their lifetimes. Like 3 out of 4, 70 over, and the ratio is actually higher because this is only based on people who report. So it's probably closer to 90%. So it happens to everyone. But why do some people manage to overcome those things and still be able to have and display a positive attitude, while other people are carrying around a negative attitude? And when you start looking at it from that respect, you have to say, it's a choice. Negativity is a choice. Toxic attitudes are a choice. And so therefore, if they're a choice, you can choose to do something different. You can choose to change them. But you do have to have the tools and the training in your toolbox to be able to do it. It doesn't happen overnight. It's not a natural phenomenon. It takes work. It takes a lot of work. And you have to basically eradicate messages and tracks and stories that you've attached yourself to for years upon years in order to overcome the negative mindsets and the negative self-talk and the limiting beliefs that we have within us that creates the negative mindsets and the toxic behaviors. But it's all possible. It's all possible. But again, it goes back to questioning, what is the reality? If you're telling yourself that the whole world is against you, and I just told you that there's 7.2 billion people, and I can tell you for a fact that everyone's not against you because I'm not. So I've already dismissed that myth that you've been telling yourself for years. The world is not against you. There's at least one person, me, who's not. So that is the reality. That story that you've attached yourself that the whole world is against you, I've just proven false within a matter of seconds. And so those are the exercises that you have to take yourself to every single time you find yourself having a negative emotion, a negative feeling, a negative thought. Jealousy is such a negative energy, and it runs rampant. And you have to really check yourself and question yourself, like, why do I feel this way? Why do I feel like I'm in competition? I was joking with a friend of mine. She was sharing a story about a friend of hers who is constantly in competition with her. And I'm like, are you in competition? Like, are you guys in a competition of some sort? And she's like, absolutely not. But people will fight so hard to win a competition that they're in all by themselves. because the jealous mind and the negative mindset, the toxic behaviors, and so the friend was doing stuff that was jeopardizing the whole relationship. Their years of friendship being jeopardized because of a jealous mindset. And this other individual thinking, I have to compete with this person, and the person that you're competing with isn't even in competition with you. They have no idea that you're even, they don't know why you behave this way, but in your mind, your jealous mind. And so I was telling my friend, I was like, yeah, it's pretty sad when somebody enters a competition with you and you don't know you're in it and they still lose. It's tough. But so that's the message on negativity tonight. I'm really getting clear about what is the honest, what's going on behind the scenes. Shit happens to everybody. It's not just you. Stop telling yourself that it is, because you are reinforcing your own negative mindset, your own negative thoughts, and you are limiting your potential. There's no way that you can excel, and there's no way that you can find increase and abundance if you're constantly telling yourself that the world is against you and it's not possible for anything to be any different. Different is possible, but you got to choose different. You got to do different. All right, that's my message for tonight. As always, guys, thanks for living life on Mars. Thanks for joining the Ultimate Power team tonight, and I will catch you guys tomorrow. Have an amazing night, everyone.